As the Pope prepares to fly to Britain on Thursday, ITV News has discovered that 3 men are preparing to sue the Roman Catholic Church, claiming they were abused as boys. The priest who they say abused them is now dead, but the men claim the Church failed to protect them from him. They say they were promised action by the Vatican, but nothing happened. Our correspondent Penny Marshall has been talking exclusively to 2 of the victims.
The children who've walked this path came seeking protection and moral guidance. But 3 young boys who came to this church in the 1970s claim they never got it. Instead, these men told me they were regularly sexually abused by their priest when they served as altar boys. They're now suing the church for damages.
Now, with the Pope's visit, I think these things need to be exposed and not hidden away as we've seen happen to us.
It's wrong. It was a crime, and there's no justice, and they sweep it under the carpet. They dismiss it. It needs dealing with, and if it means us to do this, then it needs doing.
The priest they're accusing, Canon Cyril Moverley, is now dead. But the men made their allegations to the church whilst he was still alive, and they say an internal investigation was carried out. They were told their statements were sent to the Vatican, but they claim nothing followed. It was only once Canon Moverley had died that the church acted, and the men were contacted in private.
Then they met the Bishop of Leeds. In that meeting, he expressed his deepest regret for any abuse that they may have suffered, and he also offered that the church should pay for any counselling that they may need.
The men also told me that they'd been to the police while Canon Moverley was still alive, and that twice he'd been arrested. He was never charged. Today, the church told News at 10, the diocese has cooperated fully with the police in all aspects of this case and will continue to cooperate with the police and other agencies as necessary. This is a matter of great sadness for all concerned. Our thoughts and prayers are with those affected and their families. The solicitor who's representing the men says that suing the church isn't about money, only about justice.
They tried to get justice from the police. Didn't manage it, then tried to get this canonical inquiry from the diocese to report Moverley to the Vatican. That hasn't brought justice for them, so they're using their last attempt, which is justice through the courts.
It's had a massive, massive effect on my life.
What would you say to the Pope if you could?
It's too little, too late. People need to stand up and be accounted for. It needs stopping.
As the Catholic Church and the majority of its parishioners prepare to welcome the Pope, they'll be hoping that the anguished voices of those claiming abuse will not overshadow the visit. Penny Marshall, ITV News, Harrogate.
So the Pope will arrive in Britain on Thursday, and his personal handling of the child abuse cases that have swept through the Roman Catholic Church will be an issue he cannot avoid. Today, a poll for ITV showed that almost 9 out of 10 Catholics here think the abuse scandal has permanently damaged the reputation of their church. Well, Julie Etchingham is in Rome, where the Pope is preparing for that historic visit. Julie, how does the Vatican plan to tackle this issue?
Well, to begin with, if any reminder were needed about the extent of this scandal, then one would look to the Belgian church today. An independent commission report there has uncovered more than 300 cases of abuse. Now, the Pope today issued an immediate response to that, saying that he felt great pain for the huge suffering of the victims. And earlier on in the year, he promised tougher new guidelines on dealing with abusive priests. So, of course, all eyes will be on Thursday when the Pope flies into Britain. And he has, on previous visits to both the USA and to Portugal, talked on that flight to journalists about the abuse scandal. So it'll be very interesting to see what he says on Thursday as he prepares to land in Edinburgh. And of course, the second question many are interested in is to see whether he will meet a group of abuse victims. Now, the Archbishop of Westminster, Vincent Nichols, has not ruled that out. He has said that it has been the pattern of the papal visits in previous years, and if a visit happens, then it will be in confidence and in private. private. But of course, a lot of abuse victims groups say that's simply not enough. They want tough global rules on dealing with abusive priests, and some are also calling for full disclosure, a full opening of the files here at the Vatican so that people can examine this issue in full. So those groups will be watching the Pope's visit to Britain very closely indeed.
All right, Julie, thank you.